your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna.
Change
The
your
backup
tuna.
names were Triple
Interesting
Trout,
choice.
I Salmonly Swear,
Huh.
and, oh, it gets worse. New Squid on the Block.
Ah,
It wasn't
nice.
my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Nice. Oh my god, really? Coco! Zip it! Jesus Christ. Oh, I know. Uh-oh.
Howdy.
Uh-oh, he's alive.
Why isn't that in? There, let's do that. And that. And this. And let's change some things.
I'm sure this is going to be a fun week. Let's see what he's wearing. Oh, UNC. Great. Nice.
North
there you
Carolina,
go. Fine with
North
that.
Carolina shirt.
Fine with that.
Because I have something sitting on the bed in the back. But I didn't want it to start too fast, so I'm going to bring it on later. I think.
Oh, no.
Because we got a lot of things that I can gloat about, really. And I get to pick, honestly, because there's so much. Even though I got to gloat a little bit last week, I'm going to carry some of that Pacers hype in. And I think the build-up should be slow, to be honest. I think the build-up should be slightly slow because of how, you know, maybe good we could say things are going. And quite possibly they could call it a rivalry heater. Like, you could call it a heater. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And I will say, look, we lost that series fair and square. Unlike a certain city to the northeast of us, I will not blame that series on injuries. We straight up got beat, right? Regardless of whether Karl Anthony Towns did get surgery immediately after the series.
Oh,
that
did
he did on both his knee and his finger, which had no relevance on us losing. To be clear, we still would have lost anyways. But interesting to note, unlike again a certain Celtic city that prefers to blame the entire thing on one person going down. But you know,
I'm shocked you are calling them out when you guys last year spent the whole series going, if we weren't hurt, we'd have
you learn from your mistakes.
right where we want.
Right?
Yeah.
You learn from your mistakes.
Okay, that I'll take. That was a good. That was a good comeback.
And
that was a
you
good
know,
comeback.
We did not do that this year.
Oh, why do you go
hey,
get soft?
it was the first time that we stood a competitive chance in like 25 years. We got
That's
a little
fair.
bit ahead of ourselves. We made excuses. We weren't used to being in that moment. And now that we are, we can confidently say it wasn't the injuries. Okay? Might have been coaching. Might be why Tibbs isn't here anymore. But, you know.
That seems crazy to me, by the way.
What, the Tibbs is gone?
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't get us over the hurdle. You know, whether
He had one try.
he had two.
With a healthy roster, I'd say, and a complete roster.
Yeah, but you can debate whether his style of coaching allows for a roster to be healthy or not.
Yeah, it's just also you like traded everybody for his style of coaching.
We did, but I think
Because you don't really have a bench that can
no,
do that
absolutely no,
now.
absolutely not at the moment right now. However, I think New York is now a much more attractive option than it used to be, and I think whoever we bring in, I think is going to be fine
Maybe
personally.
your cap is pretty screwed, but maybe your taxes
Agreed.
post.
Agreed.
But I get what you mean. I get what you mean. You guys are always a good destination for money.
Exactly. It's like now that we've got building blocks, right? We can bring somebody in to hopefully help get us over the hurdle. Who my favorite was? Oh, why am I forgetting his name? He's the coach of UConn.
Dan Hurley.
Yeah.
Don't know. We'll see. Don't know if his game translates, but we'll see.
I don't know. I know he's a little bit of a bitch, all right? Because we knocked them out of the tourney this year. Okay, so I'm feeling good about that part. But I do think he's got that fire that I want to have in the playoffs.
But this is why I didn't start with the jersey, because I wanted to start with this cup week. This is my salute to all nations, but mostly America coffee cup that I've put Mountain Dew in. But I do this because the Muppets is closing this week. Muppet Vision 3D, which, with every good thing in your life comes loss. And I just want people to remember that. And we, the Pacers, have sacrificed many things. The Knicks would say that we are doing ritualistic killings of our city's billionaires just to win these series. And I read that on Twitter, and that killed me. They were like, these guys should be banned from the league. Ursay dies and they win the East. That's not how things should work. And I don't know if that's what it takes, but I gave up my part too. I just want to make that clear. I gave up a Disney ride that was Jim Henson's last creation. And I want that to be reminded by this cup. I want you to remember that I did my part. I gave something up. Really, Disney took it and I had no choice, but I gave something up so that we could win this. And that's why we're going to. OKC, well, not like actually OKC, the team. The state of Oklahoma tried to kill our team. But, team of destiny as we are, the plane turns to the right airport. They survive. No problems with this team. That whole roster has landed safe and sound, and we're good to go. And you can send tornadoes. You can send hail. You could probably send a wildfire at this point. You can't stop what destiny has started in this Pacer team, and that's the promo I'm cutting, and that's what I'm sticking with.
The Halliburton writes itself.
I didn't even think of that. That's genius. You deserve a raise. I don't care if the Pacers aren't even paying you. You deserve a raise for that.
I mean, the Pacers might be paying the man that also is being paid by us, so
I mean, that's a good point.
One way or another, you get
the Pacers are taking him. Well, they're not taking him to the game, but he's going to be doing his live show.
Yeah,
from the stadium again, which tomorrow pre-sale tickets start, and I know somebody with season tickets who's trying to get me one.
Wait, isn't finals tomorrow though?
Well, we don't start till Game 3 in Indy.
Yeah, but I would have thought that they would have already sold them by now.
No, our tickets don't start for the Indy games for Game 3 until tomorrow.
Dang. All right. So
yeah, they've been slow on this.
So what's your cap? Like, what's the most you're willing to pay to go?
I'm going. There isn't a cap. Like, I'm just going. Sam signed it off. I did what I had to do. Bless you, Bitcoin. And I will be going to this game. I did my job. I'm going to this game. Yeah, like, people were like, oh, you're willing to spend $1,000? And I was like, I will be at this game. I'm not joking. Like, I'm going to go to the nosebleeds for $600 instead of, spending, what is it, like, I think they said $1,600 sit in the bottom bowl.
Yeah.
Like when I send that photo to the Discord, people are gonna mock where I'm sitting, but I'll have the memory forever.
You'll be there. Period.
Don't care. I'm trying to get in the door, brother. I'm not trying to remember it forever. I guess in the sense of like where I sat.
Yeah.
I just want to be like I was at it.
Yep.
I don't want to be like, yeah, I was down there. You can see me on the camera. Nope, you won't be seeing me unless they take that thing and point it up, because that's what I can afford. That's how it is.
You are the esports fan that we always needed, willing to drop $1,000 on the game like it's nothing.
Yep, on the passion. This is once in a lifetime. And when she said before playoffs started, I would have never said yes to this. Oh,
way to go!
My camera just died. But she said before playoffs started, I would have never have said yes to like you spending $600 on a ticket, because that's what they are up there. And she said, but after seeing the passion, like this is truly your just deep passion. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, maybe I do need to buy that camera and quit being a cheapskate.
Well, you're about to drop $1,000 on a ticket for a single day. You would think the podcast that maybe you're 175 episodes into, maybe
I would buy
you consider buying a camera, but priorities where they are.
Yeah, I mean,
rightfully
and
so.
I even talked about this 2 months ago.
Yeah,
buying a camera. Well, she gets her revenge, Larry. Don't you worry. She goes to Pentatonics every year, and lately she's been sitting lower bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
just Pentatonics. She goes to the Christmas ones every year.
Oh, you're a
we
Bible
put like
Belt
200 a year on
area
them.
Pentatonic Christmas show. Oh God, that's for you guys. That's a hefty penny.
Yeah, and she takes different people. Sometimes I go, sometimes her friends go. It's fun. I love it. But
yeah, they're good.
Yeah, that is where she gets me back. Because I'm not going to the Final Four this year. That was the stipulation.
Where's Final Four at this? Is it in Indy?
Indianapolis. But I'm just not going to pay the money because I'm putting all that money into this.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, I'm married to the game at this point.
I respect it. I do.
Yep. But that leads me
into
the other thing that I get to be amped about, which is you didn't think this would happen. I didn't think this would happen. I don't think anybody thought this would happen.
Cloud did.
But it did. Cloud did. Cloud believed. I said they'll 3-0 like I say every week, because I just say it. And in my head, I was like, yeah, good luck to them. But everyone's mentioned, and it's been talked about a lot, and then it happened, was the only way they win is if Fudge does the sniper, what Fudge always does the sniper. And Palafox steps up massively, which he kind of did. I think he stepped up like really good to beat Quid. I don't know if Quid was I mean, they just have so many weird moments where we run it down, but that's besides the point. We won. But we needed Palafox to play just normal League of Legends and Fudge to do what Fudge does as a sniper, and I think that happened. Like, I think that actually just happened. Like, I think he went in there and just railed Sniper in those games, which I will say, everybody's sitting here like, okay, Shopify barely made it. Now they're done. But if somebody's gonna beat TL, you gotta punish them on the top side. And we kind of just did that. That's all I'm saying. We kind of just did that. Am I wrong?
Impact is not Sniper.
I mean, Impact isn't Sniper, but APA isn't Quid. We won't talk about him choking. We're going to just pretend like that didn't happen. And I'm willing to say Contracts is better than whatever they throw out between Umpty and Yuchi.
100. I 100% agree with, without question.
I don't think it matters.
I'll hit you with the curveball.
Ah.
I got Shopify winning the series 3-1.
Oh no. Oh no. Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
I think that's fine.
I don't know.
Why do
Fudge is playing at the level that he needed to win LCS back whenever they won, or back whenever they were winning with C9. I think it is entirely on your bot lane. And if Seos and Bvoy can step up and at least play to Yawn and Core JJ's level, you guys win the series easy. Easy. Because I think Fudge is on a heater right now. And if he carries this form, he can beat Impact easily. Contracts, I 100% agree. Definitely better, without question. And APA has a series where he's really good, but I think APA and Palafox I would put at like equal level, personally. I think it's all fair there.
Yeah. It's hard to believe. I don't know. It's just hard because we recently lost them.
You did?
So as a fan, it's hard. I know weird things happen. I know that's what everyone will say. Anytime you can pull it together. Yeah, any given Sunday. Because we're the second series, right?
Are you?
We do play Sunday. Perfect. Any given Sunday. So we need that energy. But I'm just so... I don't know. I mean, one, for you guys. Well, I guess we can talk about it after.
Yeah.
On Shopify's
save that for a minute.
future, because you guys is going to be a deep one. But I think we have to really, really level up just as a team still, because even beating 100 Thieves doesn't feel like that big of an accomplishment.
Yeah, given how we spiraled down.
And that's not really meant to be offensive, even though it kind of is, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we've had your number. You could say we've had your number now all split.
Yep.
At this point. We just have. And I think a lot of that does fall into Sniper, just for some reason hates playing against Fudge. Just cannot step up against him. Maybe Sniper is just not meant to be a top 4 top laner. And I mean, that's a whole another question, I guess. But it makes me wonder, can we get those same advantages against Impact? I
think in his current form, yeah.
We could.
I think in his current form, yeah. Without a question. This has been Impact's worst split, I think, of LCS I think we've ever seen him play. And
that's true.
And Fudge is stepping up.
Starting to look like an old man.
Yeah, and Fudge is stepping up. Fudge is doing the thing that we were hoping he would do. Now, this I think is the ultimate test. If Fudge wants to put his name back in the conversation, you have to bury Impact whenever he is most likely to be buried. You cannot pass up on this chance, because odds are, assuming Impact does bounce back from this one-off split, you're not going to get a better chance than this. And if he is washed and you couldn't beat him when he was washed, that's a problem.
Yeah. And to be honest, if they bring back Umpty, I know some people are like, the cavalry comes back, but there's also that side of, what if he's broken? Let's say, he comes back and he doesn't do well, and then you try it for 2 games in a row, you're 2 games in the hole. At that point, do you throw back UG for game 3? If you're 1 game in the hole, do you bring back UG?
I think you start UG again this series. I think you start him games 1 and 2.
I think you kind of have to.
I think you start him games 1 and 2, and then game 3, if you really need to put in Umpty, you do. If you need something to change it up in the middle of the series, you put in Umpty and see if it can throw a curveball. But until that point,
to be honest, with the way Contracts is playing,
that's the thing.
I don't know.
Contract, we'll see.
And Core has to way level up again, because Seos isn't playing perfect. I really don't think he is. I think there's more he could do.
Yeah.
But I would say, at the current level Core is playing at, I don't think Seos is worse than him. And
agreed.
I think Jan and Bvoy, Bvoy actually steps up pretty well. He has problems where he gets caught out, but who doesn't as an ADC? That just seems to be an ADC
The exception
problem.
being Jan. Jan's the only one that doesn't have that problem as much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say Sven, but I will never forgive him for what he did to TSM on that one time he got caught out.
Yep.
So That he probably doesn't though. Too bad. But like that's really where they'd have to make their difference and get their bread and butter is that bottom lane. And I mean, there's more, I guess, rare things you could think about than Palafox turning it on for a playoffs run.
Yep.
He's done it before, and he can do it again. We're just trying to get to MSI, which I think you should want to. Like, some people are like, you really think you could get there? I'm like, yeah, I want to get there. Like, why would I not be disappointed at this point? Now we're top 4. There's expectations. Like, things change. Like, now, it's honestly sad to say, but now summer does become this thing of like, if you can't get past this, like I would say the 1 or 2 seed for Worlds, I would be super disappointed. Because this team has now shown like they've been slowly improving and they can get there. I mean, I've been mocking them the whole way because like I'm a frustrated fan who's new and I want to win now. But they have grown. They just keep making the same mistakes every time they play great teams that they don't against, I would say, good or bad teams.
Which now's your test. Like, realistically,
Yeah.
TL can be a great team. And the thing that I will say also about TL is, like, people were really worried about, like, the series loss for them.
Mhm.
There's always that, like, historically, there's been that spawn hiccup. For extended periods of time, like, there's always that one series that, like, either really goes bad or is, like, marginally bad. And then they climb their way up. In Split 1, it was that first series against the South where it was like, okay, what are you guys doing here? Like, what's happening? They didn't win. They made it straight through without the hiccup in summer until finals because they were the top seed going into finals, right? Like, FlyQuest dropped in the first match, if I'm not mistaken. LCS Summer 2024, right? Because that was the one that FlyQuest wins, but I'm curious to see where's the playoffs bracket? Yeah, playoff bracket. Yeah, Team Liquid beats FlyQuest 3-2 and then gets pummeled in finals. But then if you go back to spring, in spring they do have the hiccup early on. They lose 3-2 to FlyQuest, and then they come through the losers bracket and run the entire thing. So, like, there's always that one spawn hiccup series that bashes them back into form. But the difference is, I don't think they've shown a form this split to jump back into.
I can actually see what you're saying there. It's just tough for me to believe because we just lost to Dig no less than like a month ago.
Yeah.
And now, like, I know we just beat 100 Thieves twice, though, in that span. And we played all right against FlyQuest one time and then got absolutely crushed a second. So I'm just looking at us like, I don't know what we are. I guess we would be the ultimate, like, are you actually bad or not team?
Yeah.
So, like, if TL's playing this bad, which they don't look great, then this would be the ultimate test of, like, are you okay or are you guys completely shattered type of deal.
The other thing I would say on top of that is also, like, you're basically what 100 Thieves was last split. Where it's like we had some really bad regular season losses. Granted, we changed it out ADC instead of jungle for you guys. And we eventually went on a heater. And we eventually, like, when we finally got to that losers bracket, like, it didn't look pretty at times, but then we were able to upset C9. And you can make these runs. When you get hot, you can make these runs. And I think you guys are getting hot at the perfect time. That it's like, if you were to do it, it's now.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. We are getting hot at the good time.
Bingo. And TL, I would argue,
that's all
is
it takes.
like, TL is just one of those that, like, we assume that they're going to turn it on. But if TL loses this series, we'll look back on it and be like, they really didn't have that good of a split in general. Like, let's be honest, They didn't have that great of a split overall. We assumed that it would come, and it never did. Like, that will be the narrative if they lose.
Yeah.
But if they win, then it's like, okay, well, now they're competing for it. Like, if they take care of business against you guys, it's like, okay, they really do have this playoff gear, barring the oopsie, and you just keep going. But, like...
No, you're right. I mean, overall, you would look at it as like a huge regression of TL.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it would be a massive regression.
And it's not APA.
And
like
it would
everybody
really
wants to
just
argue.
be... That's what's so weird to me, too, is now C9 is like becoming this clear number 2, but C9 just did what everyone thought they were. They were just like, stable, high floor, but like, I would say, like, understood. You knew exactly where their ceiling was, and you knew exactly where their floor was, and they haven't had to change that. I don't think C9 is actually really upgraded. I just think TL's gotten significantly worse through just like all disagreeing about the game.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels. It doesn't feel like C9 is just leveling up into this team that is going to crush what is it? Fly. It doesn't feel like they can really get to that level where they just get so good they beat FlyQuest, but maybe. I guess Nox is right. They have rookies who grow, but I don't... Thanatos at this point is... Well, he has like another month of being a rookie.
Here's my thing with the C9 team. And I'm a professional C9 hater, so like don't fully take my word for anything when it comes to them. But like for the last 2 years, we have consistently seen that like when it matters most, they're just like they either falter, something happens, like it doesn't click for whatever reason. And
yeah,
I'm not saying that their initial win here isn't great. Obviously, they beat TL, right? I'm not blanking on this.
Yeah,
they beat TL.
Yeah, they crushed TL.
Yeah,
3-0.
I'm not sold that they can do it in the playoffs until it's done. Like, I'm not sold that they have this gear that can get them over FlyQuest until they actually beat FlyQuest. Now, I can see how they do it. Like, I see the pathway, obviously. Like, Thanatos is able to solidly get leads over Bwipo, even though Bwipo's a great nullifier of aggressive and, like, lane-dominant top laners. Loki performs quite well over Quad. Blabber continues to have a fantastic series against Inspired, who, by the way, I don't know if you saw the dive leaked his MVP.
Yeah.
And the
I saw
timestamps.
that.
Like, brother.
Yeah.
Why are we putting the timestamps out there early? Holy shit. But, no, I mean, and their bot lane as well. Like, just stabilize bot lane and just let top get ahead. Let top mid get advantage and go from there, and you're fine. And Sven Vulcan can nullify Yawn to a certain extent. But, big but, we know the FlyQuest has the extra gear.
If this team beats FlyQuest this week, though, are we allowed to start calling them like the Return of the Kings type of roster?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they've earned it.
I think they're close to that point. I mean, they are until finals, which, I mean, sucks that for some reason we still have double Elam with absolutely no advantage to the winner, other than you get to play one less best of 5.
And you get side selection. That's it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me why you don't get a free game.
Yep.
I still don't understand that. But I think they're like, it's just so weird, this Cloud9 team. I want to view them as this like crazy, insane team that really is like just stepped up insanely well. But I just keep sitting here going like, do I think they've stepped up enough to like where they're at the level of FlyQuest? And it's hard to believe.
Here's my this might be a controversial take. Thanatos is consistently great. I agree. He's not an X Factor player yet.
Definitely not, no.
because I know I got shit for this, for some people not being happy with that I left him off my MVP ballot. But I don't think it's like, we've seen quite a few games from him where like he's getting leads and it doesn't fully translate. And they have falters and they have these moments.
This isn't just to be annoying to you. This is actually like a legitimate comparison. He is the Brunson to like Bubbo's Halliburton.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, and I know Bubbo's way older than Halliburton, so that part sucks. But like, great stats, great player. We all know he's gonna be an insanely good player with an incredible career. It's just there's a certain thing in the playoffs you got to do to get your team going and to get yourself going that I don't know if he's at that point yet. Because you do have to, if you're going to be a guy who everybody thinks is a game breaker, you got to eventually like put your team above in important moments. And I don't know if he does that yet. If he really pushes his team to new heights.
No,
and that's hard.
And it's
not easy to do.
Let's be honest, he has to be the one. Because we've seen the ceiling of Blabber, of Sven, and of Vulcan. Sven is never, like, I'm sorry, like, I love Sven. He's Mr. Consistency. He's not going to be what Jan is. Jan is that guy that can absolutely take over fights and single-handedly win a series for you. Okay? Inspired. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That
one... I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how one team has 3 MVPs, but whatever.
Okay, let's talk about that. Can we all agree it's some fucking bullshit?
Yes.
I want to know, and I'm really curious to see the ballots tomorrow. Is this the players causing this? Like, surely it has to be the players. I find it hard to believe that Cubby, or like looking at the 5 media members, Arsh, Cubby, maybe Medios, because Medios is a former player and thinks along the same lines. Like, how the fuck are 3 FlyQuest players the top 3 votes? If you have multiple people on your ballot from the same team, then they're not MVP.
Yeah.
Like that should be it. Like that's it. That's done. Like, period. Like, what else do you fucking say?
It doesn't work.
No.
Yeah. You rate one, you have to have at least 3 people from 3 different teams, or you have 2 people competing from the top 2. But you can't, like, I haven't seen enough C9, I guess, to like, because a lot of their bad games, I don't know who the standout guy is. I just know the good games. Like, C9 just plays so good as a team.
That's my thing. They do.
So it's hard to pick a standout MVP for me. Maybe you would, like, almost, I want to throw Vulcan or Sven.
Sven would have been
Loki has some great times as well. It's really tough there.
But like my MVP ballot was Inspired, Yawn, Quid. Because like I know people are gonna downvote Quid for the bad games that 100 Thieves had, but I think that you can be an MVP on a shitty team, and the reality is,
I think you got
Quid was the
fucking guy in there.
Thanatos was the only person, but I just thought, like, for me, like, this is my thing. We're having this conversation about how C9 is just a great, solid overall team, and there's really not players that like stand out ridiculously far, other than maybe Thanatos. All right. Quid is like stand out on a shitty team, best player on that team by a fucking country mile. And when they're winning, it's off his back. When they're losing, it wasn't like he was throwing in the regular season. His team was collapsing around him. River was getting caught. Sniper was getting caught. And there's not shit that he can do. That to me is MVP. When you are on a bad team and you are the sole reason that they win, but you're not losing because you suck or because of your faults, that's MVP status right there. You are the most valuable player in that situation. And if you think that C9 and others might not try and take a chance on him, you're out of your mind. Same thing with Inspired. Inspired is the one for me where it's like, yes, I know I know that FlyQuest is good overall as a team, but Inspired exerts so much fucking pressure on the map, it's suffocating.
That's
It's
fair.
so dumb. Like, he farms so well, he's still affecting lanes while doing it. Granted, it helps that his lanes, get ahead, at least in mid. I would say bot fell behind a little bit, but like,
And I think what hurts Thanatos a lot is that he might be the one that some people want to put as C9's MVP, but you just can't give it to a guy has like 20% less KP than everyone else on his team.
Yeah.
Because once you see 50% KP, you're like, well, I get top lane is that way, but it's also like, come on, your team's doing a lot of work without you. That's a lot of work without you that they can accomplish that you don't need to be there for. And that was my one only problem. That's why I would have put like Sven as the MVP from C9. But I get Thanatos is a great player.
Nox is mentioning the stats in chat. I think stats can help you reinforce a point. I don't think, especially for MVP, I don't think stats can make that argument for you. Personally. Especially in League, where it's like, if you're a good player on a bad team, your stats are going to still be atrocious because you're still losing. And like, there's no, like, in NFL football, when we look at an MVP, you can put up insane offensive yardages. Mm-hmm. But if your defense is so bad and your record's bad because of your defense, it doesn't impact your offensive stats really all that much. Yeah, you might try and throw more, and like there's a little bit of trade-off. But it's not like your team. It's not like your offense. In order for you to put up those stats, your offense has to be performing around you. Joe Burrow being a great example. Thank you, Lunar. Terrible defense, fantastic offense, right? Yeah, and he puts up those numbers because of that. But you can't do that in League because your offense and defense are the same 5 players on the field at the same time. So your stats get affected disproportionately by being on a bad team. That you have to use the eye test more. And then bring in stats to back that up as well.
Yeah. And it is one of those, like, I get every top laner has lower KP, right?
Yeah.
So that's just how top lane is. I fully accept that. It's just the big thing is, if he's constantly, like, he has one of the, 50 is incredibly low, I feel like.
What, kill participation for a top laner?
Yeah, most top laners usually, if they're having a good year, maybe sit at like 57-ish to that like 60-something range. It just feels like that is an incredibly low KP. And I know that's only one stat. He does a lot of other good things. But it's not like he's leading the league in damage percent or KDA or, maybe laning stats, maybe minions or CS per minute, but I wouldn't call CS per minute like some. Honestly, it's just not as important to me. Maybe gold per minute he leads, and I just don't know. And he's just so good at it, but it's like, and I get some people try to use the argument for him, like, oh, well, he doesn't take counter pick, and then he goes in these lanes and he still does really well. And it's like, yes, he does, and that is a good thing. But there are also some lanes where you're like, or there are games where you're watching C9 and you go, man, they just won that basically without him. And like, you just can't imagine an MVP like that to me.
I don't know.
Because there are a lot of games where he just doesn't do much. It feels like, or he doesn't get involved much.
No. That doesn't mean he's bad at all. And that's like, I think the thing that people get really upset by is like whenever you exclude somebody just barely from a list, people just assume that you think that they're shit. And it's like, no, I don't at all. I think he's, at least in my opinion, it's him and Blippo clear 1-2 in the league for top laners. And they both serve completely different styles. Entirely different styles, which is why, like, when people were, it amazed me when people were like, I cannot see an argument for why Blippo is #1 All-Pro. It's like, really? Like, his job was to nullify. Like, yeah, did he have bad series? Yeah, absolutely, he did. But people were like, oh, Thanatos was consistent all split. I literally saw games where the Gwen game is the one that like really stands out in my mind. If people want to use the Shopify series for Blippo, use the Gwen games for Thanatos, where he gets this absurd lead and then just does nothing with it. And it's like, okay, well, when you're the carry top laner, like you're supposed to stand out like that. Blippo's job is to nullify. Now, when he doesn't nullify, it looks like shit, and it's very, very obvious.
Yeah.
But in the times where he does, it's going to go under the radar. So that was my thoughts on it. And it's also like we're debating 1-2. At least we all have it 1-2. I don't get why people like were super salty about that.
Yeah. I mean, because it's really, yours is a little, what is it? Yawn and Quid. I mean, do your thing. You ain't, and I see your vision there. I get your vision with them. It's just hilarious. It is the funny thing with All Pro for top lane. People being like, one of them is so much better than the other. I'm like, bro, they're both on good teams, and they're both okay. And in League, we've always had this problem where for no reason we give one team all the All Pros.
Yeah.
This has always been an issue. So it's like, at this point, you can debate it to the high heavens. It's just never gonna.
The thing that I've never gotten is like people are like, oh, this is an irrelevant award anymore. It's like, no, these awards like should mean something. Whether that's just a narrative point or whether it's actually tied to contracts like professional sports is, they should mean something. It should be something that you work towards. Absolutely. It's a good benchmark for people to push themselves. Look, we played in a rec league. I want to be on those fucking lists at the end of the year. It's bragging rights. At a minimum, It's bragging rights. So I like that these awards are there. I really do. I hate whenever people are just like, oh, get rid of this shit. It's fucking irrelevant. It's like, dude, you people don't like fun. Just because you can't sit here and fucking debate and have a conversation with it, it's so dumb. And I hate it. It's like, just let us have our fun. Come on. Like, holy shit. If you need to get more media members out there, which, by the way, this has been my gripe on Twitter all fucking day. When people are like, oh, different media members need to get in it. Tell me who.
Yeah.
Tell me who the fuck is left in media. And to the Joe Schmo fan that's out there like, oh, but I'm a better player than you. I could do this. So put out fucking content then. Become media. If you want your vote to be more than just that one little fan line at the bottom, put out some fucking content, do some interviews, get your name out there, and you'll get on ballots like this. It's not fucking hard. I have no talent at all other than my inability to shut up into a fucking microphone. And that got me this far. So just shut up and do it. Like,
and
fucking
you also like show us your analysis. If your analysis is that much better, then show it.
Yeah. If your analysis is better, guess what? It's going to make for better content than mine. And if it doesn't make for better content, figure out a way to make it better content. If you think that there's something missing out there. But no, people are just going to sit here and armchair analyze like, oh, well, I don't have your following. I started from nothing too, brother. Fucking do it yourself. Do it. But you don't care enough to, so shut the fuck up.
It is the big thing now, like, to, because we're in this era of the media sucks, the media is just awful, and that's in every sport. Like, that's been killing me about this Pacers run, is a lot of Pacers fans are like, the media never respected us, and I'm like, well, they haven't. And one of my buddies was like, doesn't that just anger you? And I like looked at him and I was like, well, let's be for real for 2 seconds and remember, we haven't won anything and we've been in the NBA since 1975, bro. Like, you gotta give people something to talk about. Yeah. And even, not Stuart Scott, rest in peace the GOAT, but Scott Van Pelt goes, we didn't cover them. And we didn't catch that they were turning on, like, an insane heater in January. And they were one of the most dominant teams since them. Second best in the league. And he's like, and that's on us, but also it's like, we just missed it. And he's like, we're not, and maybe we need to diversify what we cover more. And he just started going on this long talk on his podcast about it. And he was like, so we kind of want to change the way, what is it? That was
I
a
know
good
you
one.
saw that
But-
comment. I know you
That
saw
was a
that
good one.
comment and chuckled.
But that was a good one. But I was like, he's changing. He was talking about maybe we need to change Sports Center to cover all teams more again and do all this. And those are like good conversations to have. But at the end of the day, you also like can't just completely dump on what the media is there for. Like some media is there to entertain and grow the game, and some is there to analyze. Like if you're watching ESPN and going, man, another Stephen A. Smith take that really ticked me off because he said something I don't like about my team. And it's like, yeah, if you're watching Stephen A. Smith for the strategy of the game, you're a moron.
Yep.
Like, listen to any Tim Legler, or however you say his name, like thing or bit, and you'll have a way better time because he actually talks about the intricacies of the game, and that's why they have both of them on payroll. I was like, I love listening to Pat. So does every other indie fan. I'm sure he annoys the crap out of people who don't just want to listen to a guy talk about why indie's great and has no idea what he's saying about basketball. Like, I fully get that. But that's how the media works, is to grow the game. So like when people say the media shouldn't vote on like MVPs and all these other things, I'm just sitting there like, yo, I get what the sheep group is coming for and what they think they're trying to get out of this. I understand. I'll name them. You might as well, because they're the ones who started it. And they're trying to be like, hey, this should be only people who are great at the game. But at the same time, that just doesn't work. There's 200 challenger players, and you can have unlimited accounts. So who knows how many of those are actually, well, I don't know what challenger is at anymore. Is it still locked at 200?
I have no clue.
But there's a locked amount of challenger accounts. You can only have so many. Like, let's say 50% of them are in the pro leagues, because that's typically what it is, whatever. And then, or 25% is in pro leagues. 25% does streaming and doesn't care about the pro league. 25% doesn't honestly want to be involved in any of that and just plays the game or is quiet, whatever. And then 25% actually would want to vote on that. Like, do you think they're actually going to watch every game, though? That's a question that you have to ask. Are they really going to watch every game? Are they going to understand it? Are they even going to be right? Because that's another thing. Being great at something, but being good at analyzing it and coaching it are two different things.
And you know,
Like,
my thing
that's
is like
tough.
you don't even have to be phenomenal at analyzing it.
Yeah.
You just have to have a baseline standard, be able to explain yourself, and be open to conversation and criticism. That's
True.
it. That's all it fucking requires. As like the sheep point, like that. I mean, that just irked me. I ain't gonna lie. Like that was one where it's like, dude, first and foremost, fucking say my name. If you're gonna say it, fucking say my name.
I think he's talking in general.
He is talking in general, but
And
we
Healy
know
chucked
there's
you in.
five. He's talking about the media. There's 5 media votes.
Oh, really?
5. It was me, Arsh, Travis, Cubby, and Medios.
How is that it? Oh, the rest are on payroll?
Players, staff, and broadcast. So when you're talking
Ooh.
about media, you are talking about
Yeah, yes, he
5
is. Yeah,
people.
my bad.
So fucking name me. Like that's my if it was like 20 people, fine, whatever, do whatever. You're talking about 5. And I know you're not talking about Medios because that's a separate point on like whether he should be in when you already have a C9 coach and a C9 player vote. Having him in there, little odd, but I get he's on the dive, so like fine, whatever. Like
having
fine.
Reggie.
He's not talking about Cubby. We know that because Cubby high elo player and on NACL. It's me, Travis, and Arsh. It's those 3. Fucking say it, brother. Say it.
Yeah.
And give me who you want in replacement. Do you want to vote? If so, say so. Because I guarantee.
What is Cubby's elo? Is it
pretty
challenger?
High. He's pretty high. I'm not sure. He's not challenger, but I'm
Well,
pretty sure he's like diamond.
He
at minimum.
didn't. Diamond wasn't good enough according to his take. If you kept reading,
Yeah, I know.
he said he's not even qualified to vote, and he hit Masters in Korea.
But like, give me the replace because you need a media vote.
Yeah, I don't.
You
know
need
who...
a fucking and like that's my thing that I don't get with with Sheep right now is like, you are media. How do you not understand the importance of a media vote? Of the people that are distributing the information. Because guess what? If it weren't for us, if it weren't for Dom, if it weren't for LS, Jamada, all of them, who the fuck would be talking about the game besides game day? Who helps you perpetuate the narratives week in and week out and keep people in the scene beyond just the games themselves? It's the fucking media. Why? Because they're paying attention to it every goddamn day. We think about it nonstop. So we are legitimately talking about it and thinking about it more than your average person is. Don't even get me started on the whole player thing of them voting for scrims. That's a whole other separate point. But like,
yeah. And there's biases anyways. Like, people are going to say that media people have biases to certain teams, which, I mean, they do. And you're also going to have, if you get this, like, completely unbiased, allegedly panel that somehow decides who was actually the best, they're at some point going to have a way of playing the game they think is correct, and a player they think plays it the most correct. That's just kind of how it is in the media, or in the world, not just media stuff. And voting is just that way. I mean, I get a lot of people are like going to absolutely hate that there's a little bit of bias that goes into these votes, but that's legitimately just how they work. I mean, if you want to get the media vote out of the game entirely and out of the esport entirely, fine, you can do it.
Yeah.
But what are you going to add? It gives the media less to talk about. It gives them less narratives to push. It gives them just less of everything, really. And I don't really know what you do, because I know a lot of people just have this idea that media automatically means evil, pretty much, in nowadays age, and that's why we draw the line on it. But it's like, no, you still need it there because it helps build up the sport in certain ways, and it's there for people to get into something.
Yeah.
Really, it just helps people get into the league, which, I mean, we don't have a lot of people getting into the league anyways, or no, I guess, but you want to give them a way in, like at least something.
Yeah.
I mean, something other than, the constant rumor group being the one that says we don't like the way voting is done.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it, but like, your guys' like main job is to stir up stuff.
Kind of.
Like that's their main job, is to stir up stuff, which helps push things to the league. So maybe that's just what they were doing. They said the media shouldn't vote at all because it stirred up stuff. I don't know.
And like, here's the thing: is like their guy did have Arsh is part of Sheep, and Arsh is like their editor in chief.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so like Arsh is part of it. So like I get like he's talking like very self-incriminating to a certain extent on that, but there's just here's the difference. There were a lot of people for the longest period of time within the media that were really upset with like, hey, why don't people take us more seriously as media? And it's like, well, I hate to tell you, but like the way we do media in League is like really fucking archaic and outdated. Like really, really outdated for the most part. The YouTube practices are the same that they've been since 2016. Nobody's really like spicing anything up except for like a few creators like Mahir is coming up and doing interviews like decently well. They're like, I understood whenever they were frustrated and be like, well, nobody's watching. It's like, well, we're not doing much. And then you have to deal with the league on top of that. But now when the general public is just like pushing back against it, it's like, I just don't think, I get your point of like it's general like anti-media narratives right now, but I think it's on the media to also understand that and fight back against it. But I know there's also not a lot of people that want to be fucking media right now. Like I get it. Like I don't want to be lumped in as technically part of that. I'm a content creator first and foremost. Like you get lumped in with the media bubble, but like I'm a creator first.
You're getting dangerously close to your least favorite word.
Journalist.
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was going for.
Yep.
The thing you run from.
Oh, dude, I try so hard to fight against that. So hard.
They want you to be one so bad.
Arsh is a journalist. Without question.
Yeah.
Arsh is like a journalist, has to be held to like journalistic standards, everything else there. Like, I don't consider YouTube videos where I'm just spouting shit with some stats. Sure, I'm not disagreeing that I don't like look up some stuff and like present it in the video, but I'm just giving my opinion. I don't know if there was an audience. That's the thing. Realistically, there's no audience for what the media is currently dishing out, and that's what has to happen then. Is you need people in the media to adapt and change and that's how I got here. I became media by like filling the one hole that nobody else was willing to fill.
TikTok.
Bingo. And people still don't fucking fill it. They still don't give a shit. Although I did see that FlyQuest is apparently hiring a short form content manager. I'm like,
I saw that.
Fucking finally. It took you how long? But fine. We got there. It took TikTok getting banned for 24 hours after existing for 5 years as a platform, coming back, and now you're realizing, hey, we might want a short form guy.
Yep. Well, it just kills me because it's like, hey, we want the media to keep pushing up the game. We need the game to not die and all this stuff, and the league needs to keep growing. We have completely new branding, which is going to take a lot of engagement, if we're being honest, and that's where you get media engagement. And then, or it's going to take a lot of work to get engagement. And nobody has used TikTok, which I don't use TikTok. We all pretty much know that.
You're not allowed. You're different.
But there is like a ton of people on there. And I'm not sitting here like denying there's people on there. I just don't use the app. I know it has pull. You'd be a fool to not know it has pull. Halliburton has some crazy montages on there that my buddies send me. And they'll all, like, my buddies know I don't have it to the point that they download videos before they send them to me now.
Yeah.
Like when they're sending me all the Pacers montages. And it's like, yes, you should be on there. There's a reason every sport is on there posting stuff, except ours for some reason.
No, ours is.
And they finally moved to the vertical streams. Yeah, this year.
No,
they got into vertical
they've been historically posting TikToks. The league has.
Oh, have they been?
The league's got some pretty interesting content on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
What's missing from the league side of things is there's not this community of debate. Like the analyst content, the Pat McAfee style clips, like that type of stuff hasn't taken off. And like it's on Dom and like LS and crew to like really push those types of things. But like it's not fully there. But they do post gameplay. Like that's the one thing they have done is they posted a good bit of gameplay. But like I just don't think they have the resources on the league side. And then the team side's never gotten it. They've just never understood it, period. But like that is what it is.
That's very interesting. I didn't even know they were uploading it, which honestly makes me feel even more like we're just not doing TikTok well.
Well, here's a great question.
I know they've done TikTok streams for a minute, like live streams.
Hey,
because they do the vertical ones on YouTube as well.
So seeing here, their content, like their gameplay stuff and like some interviews gets like 17. They have 113,000 followers on TikTok. And they're uploading most of the stuff. But like here's where I think it ultimately fails. And like which has been my gripe from the jump is they announced LTA finals is going to be in Dallas. Guess who's the only one on TikTok with a video out about it?
Who? Oh dear. That's a problem.
LTA Finals Dallas. Yeah, I'm the only one on all of TikTok to have a video on it.
Nice.
That's not good. Like, that's not good. I can't be the only. Like, holy shit.
I mean,
Like,
I
holy fuck.
don't
You should
know.
have a
They
video.
posted on X a link to their website. We've done it again, boys. One of the only social media platforms that everyone's trying to dip on that,
Oh,
but can't
God.
seem to get rid of their addiction. They posted on there at least.
It's like, bro.
X is a real growth platform.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah,
it is.
it is. Sure.
It's a growth platform.
It's like, bro, like, that's the basic shit. Like, that's the shit that I can't wrap my fucking mind around. Every team should have a video out on who they're going to be playing each week. The league should have a video out each and every week about the upcoming matches, as well as, you know, maybe your big events. Maybe that would help.
Honestly, I'm getting to the point where if you need to quit doing YouTube videos, like long form YouTube videos, to work on your social media game, I think that's fine. Like, what are YouTube videos really pulling at this point? And it's not like anybody's going through and reacting to the videos to the point where they're like doing what sports media does them for, you know, where they like upload them so that it pushes more out there for people.
Yeah,
And you
so
don't have
like
the
you and I
people to
would be
do it.
talking about it on a thing like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you really most sports pages upload anyways is media availability.
Yeah.
And then montages at times. And then they're doing all their work on the other socials to make sure they get people to remember their name. And I just don't know. Like, is that, I don't know, is that worth it? Is there a reevaluation we could do? Like, is there something we could do to make it work? The dive is diving on view. Is it really that bad?
From
No?
where it was years ago, yeah, it's bad.
Oh.
It's bad.
Well, it doesn't help. And I say this as somebody who is just happy to have Reggie on the call. It doesn't help when you have Meteos on every single episode just glazing C9. That's why I quit watching. I used to watch the dive a lot, but it's just too much Meteos glazing.
I just miss Chat.
C9.
I miss Chat so much on that stuff, but I don't want to go into like another, bashing on that front.
Yeah, I would be going dark, but
we dodged the 100 Thieves point, and I feel like we do need to return to it slightly.
yeah.
What do you do?
For 100 Thieves?
Yeah, GM Paul right now. We know the budget's a problem. All right, I'm making that very clear from the jump. What do you do?
Well, yeah, 100 Thieves. So if I'm the GM of 100 Thieves, I go up to Nate Shot and I go, all right, bro, we staying? That's first things first.
And the answer is no. So next.
Are we staying? So he goes, no. I go, okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna chill then. My job's done. But if he says we are, then I'm looking at, okay, what's the budget? And I'm looking at the budget. It's probably not that great, if we're being honest, because it's gonna be another minimum budget. I think you keep Quid. You don't really have a way to move out of FBI unless you can find something magical that speaks to you. So you're probably stuck with FBI and Ayla for another year, even though I wouldn't say they're like the greatest thing ever this year, but you're stuck with them. River is gone. So I would be in talks in some way with Griffin. I'd be trying to figure that out unless Griffin is going somewhere else. I'd be trying to play that avenue and figuring out how much he expects money-wise, what kind of team he thinks, and then I know this is tough, but you gotta start looking for another top.
At minimum, you force a 6-man roster, yeah. At minimum.
Yeah. If you have the money to make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can find another ADC as well, I don't think it kills you. I think Ayla's played well. I just think we know what FBI is.
Yeah.
But FBI can still win you.
That's the thing.
Title,
Like I'm more.
If you
I'll
want to be
honest with
lazy.
you, like I'm watching. River going away is a problem. like a massive problem, assuming he goes for his military service. Like that's a hole that I don't know how the fuck you replace. I mean, you try with Griffin for sure. Like that's your one native option that you're looking at, which then allows you to potentially import top if you want, or import ADC, whichever one you want to take a
Can
chance
you
on.
afford imports?
No, but like I mean I don't.
That's my only thing. I mean, I just don't know. Like, I don't. Their money problem, and this is my issue with what was it? The other day, people were making some joke about Sword Art Deal again, and I made a joke about how Perks was just as bad of money
Yep.
transaction. And they were like, well, no, technically it was worth the funds they won. And I was like, no, it was bad money. I'm saying money. And they're like, well, it was this and this and this. And I'm like, was it though? We only have rumors. And that's what makes League so hard. There's no way to know people's money. So we don't know what actually they can do.
Yeah.
Like, all you know is what they end up getting, but it makes it so hard to, like, discuss the rosters that they could build because we don't know if they can afford what we're discussing.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to take a gander and say a team that's not trying very hard probably isn't affording much. Like,
Yeah.
I doubt they can do a 6-man, if I'm being honest.
I don't think it can either. Like realistically, I don't think we can afford to.
But go get that LS dude, the top laner. Try him out. The Zai something.
Oh, Zamudo.
Was it Zymudo?
Zamudo. Yeah. So there was an interesting conversation around like Hotline League on like whether do you go into the LTA and try and take this deal to like play with one of these teams, or do you stick it out with a roster that you think is going to promote? I think if you get a chance on 100 Thieves, I think you pull the trigger. Well, I guess maybe 100 Thieves is a little. 100 Thieves is maybe more different than discussed because we legitimately might just not be here. But then the contracts will roll over to the new org. But no,
We'd still be discussing who they're gonna pick up.
I feel so bad because like I wanted Sniper to work out, and maybe he still can, but like when you look at how this series went and how the split went, it's either coaching or some of the players. And from the way it sounds like with how that game 3 draft went, where like Sniper was like, I want to lock in, and like he kind of like, you know, panicked in the big moment and just like went with what was like really comfort, even though it fucked the entire draft and the team. Like, you got to look at Sniper and be like, okay, I don't know if this is working out. But the worst part is, look, he's still better. He still performs better than some of the bottom tier top laners. Like, he still showed up better than Castle on stage. He still showed up better than Surdy at points on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, who else am I missing? Lion Licorice.
Is it worth you guys just going and like if you're cutting it, is it worth going and buying
No.
the what is it, Zajan and Zamudo?
Yeah, no, it's not. Like the reality is,
Or Zahid, I don't know how they say that name.
if we are gone, none of this matters. None of it.
No, I mean like next year if you're staying.
Oh, I mean,
Do you go cheap on
my thing
just
is
pick Dragon Steel's roster?
if I'm fucking Golden Glue and Jungle Juice and like everybody with 100 Thieves, I'm pulling up the Mark Z's window and fucking banging on it for the next like 2 weeks and being like, bro, give us a fucking answer. We need to know. We need to know if we're gonna make moves, if we're gonna make plans for next year, because it's July. Okay, in case anybody doesn't know what July is that magical time of the year called annual operating plans for 2026. Everybody's planning what's gonna happen here. So like, we need an answer. Are we going to be in the league or not? And we need to know now. And if the answer is no, fine. Budget's fucked. It is what it is. Like, just let it be. It'll die out. Whenever Riot takes the spot, you take the spot. Couldn't give a shit. All right. But if we are, then guess what? Now we start worrying. Like, okay, what kind of budget are we working with here? It's a big can. All right. Can we put ourselves in the position to buy any FlyQuest players? Coco!
Do you think you could?
I'm just saying all their contracts are up after this year.
I mean,
I'm just saying that you could, in theory, put together a package that would convince maybe one or two people to come. Maybe. Now, do I think anybody would want to leave Inspired? No, obviously not. I think like Inspired, Busio probably want to, unless they have like some real fundamental disagreements on how the game is played, they probably want to stay together. Masu's not going anywhere because Masu and Busio are a great duo. I don't see them splitting up unless things go like really south.
yeah, I don't see. Also, I don't see FlyQuest losing them because of their capital.
Per Nox, we are also the team that is historically known for buying out entire teams.
True.
That is kind of our thing. We have done
But
that.
that's back when you had money.
Yeah. Lunar brings up a
And you had
great
VCs.
point that I didn't even think about.
What?
Do you think Inspired's gone after this year?
Back to EU? I don't know. Do people think he wants to go back?
I mean, he's going to get more money over there, surely. Right? You think Fnatic wouldn't pay him arm and fist over Razork?
G2 would probably pay him a lot.
G2 would pay him a shit ton.
Yikes.
Like, honestly,
never mind, bro. Yep, he's
gone.
gone.
Well, no. I mean, if we're being honest here, I take him over Yike too. K Corp.
No, I would not. What?
Inspired over
No.
Yike? Yes, all day.
No, absolutely
You're
not.
crazy if you think that you shouldn't take
No, I am
Inspired over
not.
Yike.
Yike has great games.
Inspired is great, period.
Yeah, he's not Yike. We need somebody who starts things. Not somebody who like tries to min-max their farm.
You have Mickey X, no?
No, we have LeBron.
Oh, no, you have LeBron. Never mind, I'm dumb. I'm thinking Mickey X is back in Fnatic.
No, not LeBron. We have
Targamas.
Targamas. Yeah, getting my Europeans mixed up. But
okay, hear me
we're
out.
not-
Imagine. Okay. I know Flackid, or not Flackid, Jesus. I always think of Flackid Targamas. Imagine Callista's like, hey, I'll get Busio to come lane with me. You get Inspired. Kana.
I highly doubt that because Targamas
Kana
and
Inspired.
Calista are best friends.
Yeah, but you never know. If they don't win or don't go to Worlds, maybe it's a different story.
Okay.
But like, imagine Kana Inspired. Vladdy, Callist, and Busio. Bro, that's sick. That's sick.
That's not better than their current roster.
I think it is. I think Inspired.
It's not.
I think Inspired's the best player in the West. Period.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. Period.
No, he's not.
Who's better?
Absolutely not.
Who's better?
Caps.
No. Absolutely. Are you fucking kidding
Caps
me?
is still, even Caps in his old form is still better than Inspired.
Caps has 2 weeks, and you're saying 2 good weeks, and you're saying Caps. No, it's Inspired.
He's still the best player in the West.
No, it is Inspired. Best overall,
And I
yes.
don't
But I'm
think
saying best
Inspired is
in
currently the
this
best.
moment.
No.
No, it's absolutely
No.
Inspired.
No. I don't think he is. I would not put Inspired the best.
I think you're on crack.
And honestly, I've seen things from Callist. I think he's the future of, like, Western League.
Callist? Yeah, that I agree with. 100%.
He's becoming insane.
Yes, I agree, but like not right now.
I think a lot of people want to believe Inspired is the best in the West. I don't agree. I have not seen him take those steps in international play.
Dude, they took Gen G to 5. What more do you fucking want? Like, what more could you...
To win those?
And
To win those.
that wasn't his fault that they lost, brother. That was not his fault that they lost that one. Come on. That was not...
I don't think they got that dog in them.
I agree with you that I want them to win. All right. Okay, we'll agree to disagree on this one, but I think we can both agree to this point. If you're any player in the West right now, seeing that Jojo Pune is guaranteed top 3 in the LEC, likely with a higher paycheck than what anything in North America is going to offer you next year, on top of that, you just get to play in the best league in the West. I think you're dumb not to.
Well, yeah, they're going to go over there en masse. If they can. Like, if you're good enough.
I mean, shit. It's something I don't want to think about, but like the reality...
Even Whippo would be foolish not to go back.
I think, like...
If he wants to keep playing.
I mean, Blippo seems like he's close to retiring, but I don't know. Allowing them to sign Gatgos. I mean, maybe Blippo said that he's 100% going back to Europe, and that's why they signed Gatgos. Maybe. I don't know. But, like, I think for Busio, Masu, Yawn, and he's, like, if you don't want to leave the U.S., fine. Sure. If I'm in that position... I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd go. You get me an offer from a top 5 team in Europe right now, I'm leaving in a heartbeat. Without question. The road shows, everything, like just everything about the LEC right now is like thriving. Even if the viewership's not like fantastic, you know, relative to what you would want. Like in terms of like one side versus the other. You 100% go there. And if think about it, Jojo Pune was how bad for us? Jesus Christ, my dude was playing god awful. And he's on the 3rd best team. Imagine how good some of the like our actual good players could be if they went over there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it is one of those just... I need to see slightly more, what is it, this week from JoJo to see if he actually can step up.
think you guys absolutely blast Koi this time around.
I feel pretty confident K-Core destroys him.
Yeah. Which gets you to MSI, by the way.
But I know. That is nice. Them having 2 slots. 2 slots in EU is nice. I don't know. It's so hard for me to say. I'm just thinking still about top in the West. Putting Inspired at that level. I know this is an NA podcast, so everyone is going to be against me and saying he's not. But it feels such a big leap. Such a big leap. Especially like saying for sure that KC would need to cut Yike for Inspired after they after they just went to a finals at an international.
Okay, let's be very fucking clear here. In the grand scheme of this year.
Whoa, don't brag about that when Fly did not beat any Eastern teams.
I know.
Did not beat any.
I know.
At Worlds.
I know. I'm just saying that putting any weight on first stand by the end of the year is going to be bad. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. Oh. It does, but the weighting of it is not going to mean as much once we're at tournaments that have multiple Asian teams, that have multiple European and North American teams. Like, I'm just saying
first stand is somehow Mickey Mouse when you don't literally have one of the biggest Mickey Mouse runs.
I mean, I'm not denying that FlyQuest run wasn't Mickey Mouse. I'm not denying that portion of it. I'm just saying that, like, for North America, that's a pretty good run.
It's a very good run. It's an insane run. It's an all-timer for us that we needed in an important point.
Yeah. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I need you guys to make MSI so we can really see how this goes. Because I think MSI is going to be the real test for you guys. An actual international team with more than just two, like one LPL and one LCK team, with a format that is way more difficult. Way more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see by the end of the year
Exactly. Like, we'll know.
whether or not they need to.
And I think, look,
And we
this
could see it at MSI.
look, Yike is a known international choker.
Yeah.
So when we get to MSI and when we get to Worlds when it matters most, we'll see. How Inspired wasn't a factor into why they lost. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in that game they lost lanes pretty ridiculously to the point where
They
Fiddler
got
couldn't
crushed
really
as
play.
a team.
I was gonna say, like, they got crushed all around. So like I don't personally blame Inspired more than I blame anybody else.
I do think he gets away with being a serial choker way better than most players do.
Inspired or Yike?
Inspired internationally. What has he done
Yike's a
internationally?
known choker.
Yeah, I think Inspired gets away with a lot.
Okay, what international tournaments has he gone to? Let's ask that question. Okay.
He's been to a Worlds with what was it? EG, where they didn't have Danny.
Where they didn't have Danny, yes.
Yes, and then that team just played terrible. Which people will say, oh, they lost their soul because they lost Danny, but that's still like that team was getting so much.
Everybody everybody from the West got slammed that tournament. So like, you want to blame Inspired, fine, but you have to knock everybody else down a peg with that.
Yep.
So, okay, nothing out of the normal there. So what's next? MSI last year, because he was on he was like in roster limbo, gets picked up by FlyQuest. MSI last year is the first one. Now they get knocked out by a minor region.
Yep.
And I would say the only person that played well in that entire series was Busio. That was the tournament Wait, you found what?
So this is his whole international tourney runs.
Okay.
13 and 16th place at Worlds 2020. He did better the next year. In 2021, he upgraded to 9th to 11th place. They lost the round robin again.
Yeah, that was the year that C9 upset him because he was on Rogue, right?
Yep.
Yep.
They did good at MSI. In 2022, they got 3rd to 4th place. They got 3-0'd by RNG.
Okay. That's
who
fine.
probably went on to win it, I think.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure RNG won that one, didn't they?
But they got they got curb stomped at that one too. And that was that with the Danny roster? I think it was.
2022? Yeah. That was the year they won.
And then that Worlds, they got 11th, 14th.
That was the Worlds where, or that was the MSI where Danny was falling down like 20, 30 CS every game.
Yeah, we'll write that one off because I guess we'll just write off the Worlds because that was with a sub ADC.
Well, I wouldn't write it off. I would just say like everybody in North America played so fucking bad.
Yeah.
That, like, you can't hold that against Inspired more than you can hold it against every other person that attended that Worlds.
And then MSI 2024, 9th, 10th.
That was a bad Worlds. Or that was a bad tournament. Like, no denying, Inspired, Blippo, and Quad had a fucking terrible event.
Yep.
That MSI. Busio was the only one that stood out.
Oh.
So that I agree with.
And then his most recent one, he did get 5th, 8th, and showed a good performance. I would say as a team, they played.
Was it Jensen?
Good.
Maybe it was Jensen.
That was their Gen G loss.
No.
So that one's good.
No, Labler, the MSI year, that was Quad. That was 2024. That was last year. FlyQuest didn't change their roster. Or was it Jensen? No, they did
That was
change.
Jensen.
They did. It was Jensen. Never mind. Jensen shit the bed, and they made the change. I forgot about that because of the Annie LCS finals. Never mind. You're entirely right. I'm wrong. Okay, my memory was slipping on that.
That was Jensen. And then they got Quad, and they have been good with Quad.
I remember.
Real good.
I
They have
remember.
upgraded a lot.
I'm trying to think back to that MSI. I know Bwippo for a fact ran it down bad. Like that was Bwippo's worst international tournament that he'd ever had.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Masu. Him, I don't remember much, but I just remember Busio was like the one player that everybody was talking about how he performed, and everybody finally started giving him credit because otherwise, like prior to that, that was a split that like Busio was not playing all that hot.
But I just think when I read all that, I think it's fair to say he's still got some room to go.
No, I agree. He's got room to go.
Because almost all his accomplishments are NA based.
Sure, I like
For best of the West.
absolutely. I will agree with that. But here's my thing: Caps has been beating up on Mickey Mouse competition for the last 2 years. Let's not act like Europe's been good outside of G2 for 2 years now until this year.
Yeah, Humanoid's not like insane.
No. So, like, Caps is beating up on a league that's meh at best. Goes to international events, chokes horribly 2 years in a row at Worlds. They lost to North America.
Yeah.
Now, this past Worlds, can debate that one because they played all Eastern teams. I'm willing to write that one off and not count it against them fully. But, dude, Palafox put him in a fucking body bag. You can't let Palafox put you in a body bag. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
That is fair. Was Inspired even playing that year that Palafox went crazy? Or was that the off year where he was waiting for
That was the
EG?
off year where he was in contract jail.
It was.
Yep.
Maybe he would have stopped the dream run by NRG. Maybe he would have used his best in the West form to stop it.
G2 literally beat TES and took T1 to Game 5. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think overall G2 as a team is drastically better. Not discounting that at all, but we're talking individual player. What's Cap? I need to go rewatch that series. Maybe I'm discounting how good Caps was in some of those moments.
I mean, either way, we'll see as the year goes on.
Yeah,
Luckily, we'll get answers.
We will likely get a direct answer at MSI.
Yeah.
So, time will tell. But who are your predictions officially for this weekend?
I'm gonna go Shopify 3. It has to be 3-0. I don't think they can win it without just sweeping people. And then
I think 3-1 I think is fair, no?
I don't think they can do 3-1. I think they have to 3-0.
All right.
I think it's their angle. And then I mean, that's a toughie. Fly C9 is very difficult. That's a very hard one.
I will say it's going to be a great set of games this weekend. I'm beyond excited for it.
Well, assuming Shopify keeps growing.
Yes. I think they will. I forgot that we only send one team to MSI.
Bro. Give me FlyQuest. I just feel like FlyQuest is better. I want to say Cloud9 wins now, FlyQuest wins later, but I think Fly just wins twice in a row against Cloud9. I would need to see.
I think I'm with you. I'm going 3-1.
I would need to see TL go crazy for me to believe in them.
Yeah.
Again.
I think if TL stomps you 3-0, we have a different conversation next week. But anything other than that, I'm predicting 3-1 Shopify over TL. I'm going to go 3-2 FlyQuest over C9, with this one being close, and then finals not being close at all. Regardless of who they play, I think FlyQuest Trios. That's where I think I'm landing on it. And then for LEC, I'm saying K-Corp is going to run the table. Actually, no. Sorry. Never mind. K-Corp is going to win against Koi. I forgot the finals are in the studio. G2's winning that one. G2 big game stadium merchants right now.
No, we'll be fine. They'll be fine. They got it.
I think G2 in an arena is...
I shouldn't say we. I'm not going to say we for a month as punishment for taking so long to say Targamas and calling him Lebrov. So I'm going to say they until I make up for that. That took me way too long to go from Lebrov to Targamas.
That's fair.
Way too long.
Fan of EU team NA traders. Hey, Paul said he was a K-Corp fan from the jump. Can't fault him for that. I've been hyping up K-Corp.
I did say I was switching over there for a minute.
And to anybody coming at me, I'm about to lose my team. So fuck you.
True. And also, we didn't predict the most important one. Pacers will probably 2-0 in Oklahoma, bring it home, lose game 3, win game 4, lose game 5, win game 6.
I forget. It's 2... What league does 2-3-2? Or was that just like an old school thing?
We used to do 2-3-2.
Yeah, okay. That's like...
The NBA used to do it, and they got rid of it because they realized that's the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Because I remember like back in like LeBron Miami days, it was like 2-3-2 for a bit, and I was like, I couldn't remember if that's just like a final.
2-3-2 still.
Baseball, interesting.
That's not shocking at all that baseball does the dumbest format alive. Yep. Baseball is a stupid sport.
Is it 2 days between games still, or is it 3 now?
3 until games 2 to 3, game 3 to 4. One of those
has only.
I think
days.
It's game 3 to 4 is 2 days. For no reason, bro. Other than they just.
I hate that it's 3 days. I like the every other day thing. That was fun.
It's good for us. Aaron Neesmith needs more time to fix his ankle.
Yeah.
We're just buying time.
Pretty much.
Get healthy, get right.
Fine. I will say, so we'll have 2 games between now and the next podcast. I'm going to say 1-1. I think you guys dropped the first. I think you get the second. And I think if you can get the second and then you get game 3, that's a whole different story. But like, we'll worry about getting that game 2 for now. Game 1, you guys I think you get rolled.
I feel really bad for people that they're going to have to watch one of the greatest 3-point shooting performances in one of these games. I don't think we stay down forever.
I think you guys complained a lot about Brunson baiting fouls. You have no idea what's coming your way.
Brother, we have survived the Mount Rushmore of free throw shooters. This does not change anything. I don't know what you want us to do. We have gone through Giannis. We have gone through Donovan Mitchell. We have gone through Brunson. SGA actually ranks 4th out of those 4 names I just said. He ranks 4th for free throws attempted. We are holding on for dear life, brother. This is the easiest one we're facing. That's the crazy thing. That's the wild thing. People think this is the one that's going to push us. Honestly, I would say if anything, you could say the other 3 just helped us build how to mentally handle it.
Yep.
We have been building and building and building and learning and learning and learning. And now we know how to handle it mentally and stay in the game. SGA in the second half is also, in the first half, has more free throws than everyone else in the entire games during the playoffs.
So he's limiting it to just playoffs, not regular season.
And is he changing it from free throws attempted per game to something else? I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, I need to wrap
Have
this
they
up.
just played a lot of games? Because I know per game averages is way different story, brother.
I don't know, but I desperately need to go right now because day 2 of Love Island has happened, and I need to see if my boy Ace was able to put down the work with Shelly.
Okay.
That might not make sense to anybody, but I'm just saying Love Island is like the peak dating thing. I pick a guy that is a Leo every time, just to rep because I know the energy. I know what they're thinking, what they're going through, and my dude is trying to land a girl from Queens, and I'm all here for it. I like it's gonna be the best thing for him, but he's currently trying to mac on a girl with a kid and also mac on somebody like a southern sorority girl right now. So I need him to focus up. All right, keep your eye on the prize, keep the eye on the queen of queens. All right, and we got this. And he wins the show easy. $100,000 in a life of celebrity status till the day that he dies. Just lock the fuck in, brother. You're fine. Don't get fancy with it. Don't like you got your lane, all right? In these games, you can get away with some shit. Maybe make out with somebody else a little bit, cop a feel somewhere. Fine. In the games, that's fine. But when you are in the villa, brother, lock in. All right? Lock the fuck in. And we got this. It's bad that I'm talking about a dating show the same way I talk about sports, but I don't give a fuck. This show is addicting.
I mean, at least you're happy.
I am. All right, I'm going to go watch this. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Much appreciated. If you're on Twitch, be sure to drop a sub, drop a follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next week. I need to record the pit for Friday. My fantasy team's not doing so hot, but I'll update you then. Peace.
Yes, sirs.
Lunar says happy birthday.
To me?
Yeah.
My birthday's in like 4 months.
I don't know.
But I'll take it. If if happy birthday means Pacers are about to win, then it's my birthday. Also, I see what they mean now. I see. It's because I'm getting my birthday present. Finals tickets.
Oh, yeah. True. All right.
Yep,
Have a good night, everybody.